If Nosferatu taught us that evil could be a monstrous plague, and the Phantom of the Opera that it could hide behind a mask of tragedy, in 1931, Dracula whispered a far more disturbing truth. Evil can be charming, aristocratic, and seductive. With the arrival of sound in cinema, terror learned to speak, and it did so with a Hungarian accent that would become immortal. The story drags us to the Carpathians alongside the naive real estate agent Renfield, who travels to a ruined castle to meet a mysterious count. There, he finds not a deformed monster, but an impeccably dressed host with refined manners and a gaze that pierces the soul. This is Count Dracula, and his hospitality is merely the prelude to an eternal damnation. Renfield, the first to fall under his hypnotic power, becomes his servant and herald, a lunatic who feeds on insects while his master travels to London in search of new blood. Once in vibrant London, Dracula doesn't hide in the shadows, he infiltrates high society. He is a predator who hunts in opera houses and mansions, setting his sights on the delicate Mina Seward. But his presence does not go unnoticed. Dr. Van Helsing, a man of science who does not fear confronting the supernatural, recognizes the ancient evil stalking Mina. What follows is a duel of wills, the hypnotic seduction of the vampire against the iron determination of the hunter. It is impossible to talk about this film without talking about Bela Lugosi. The actor who had already played the Count on Broadway didn't just act as Dracula, he became Dracula. His performance defined the character forever. The accent, the cape, the way his eyes gleamed before an attack, his elegant yet menacing presence, it all became the archetype of the vampire. Unlike the monsters that preceded him, Lugosi's Dracula was a psychological terror. He didn't need claws. His power lay in his ability to disarm his victims with a word, a glance. Dracula of 1931 was a phenomenon. It was the first sound adaptation of Bram Stoker's novel, and, thanks to it, Universal Pictures inaugurated its legendary era of classic monsters. Although its pace may seem slow today, the gothic atmosphere created by director Todd Browning and the magnetic power of Lugosi remain undeniable. The film taught us that terror doesn't always leap from the darkness. Sometimes it invites you in with a polite smile. When we think of Dracula, it's not Stoker's creature that first comes to mind, but the face of Bela Lugosi, wrapped in his cape, descending a cobweb-covered staircase. And that is the immortal legacy of this masterpiece. It gave us the definitive face of the night.